Am I the a-hole for not wanting to buy a house 3 hours away from my workplace? I do not know how to start this. I, 27F, have been with my fiancé, 28M, for 5 years. We have just recently saved enough for a deposit on a house, and he has found this cottage in the middle of nowhere, 2 hours away from where we currently live. The thing is, I already work an hour away. I am a nursery practitioner, and I love my workplace. I have been there since I was 20, and I have worked my way up to a room lead position. Living 3 hours away from my job would not be ideal, but my fiancé will not budge on this house. He says it is perfect, within our budget, and quirky enough to fit our taste in home style. I have tried to communicate with him about this issue multiple times, bringing up the fact that there are not even any nurseries in that area that are looking for staff. I do not want to find another job that is a bit farther away and have to start from the bottom again. He says it will all work out if I just stop overthinking it, and that I have been at my current job for so long that it would be nice for me to start fresh. Another issue is that I want children. They have always been a huge deal breaker for me, and I do not think it would be such a good idea to live so remotely when it comes to raising children, as we will have to get them to and from school or nursery before and after work every day. The nearest school and nursery are a 30-minute drive away from the house he wants, and we both start work fairly early and finish quite late. It will also be an issue when it comes to their freedom as they grow up, because I think it would be horrible to have to rely on your parents for transportation all the time and have to skip out on plans if they cannot drive you. He really thinks I am being dramatic about this, and that I will just figure it out. So, am I the a-hole for not wanting to move so far away from my job and basically all civilization? Update 1. I was not expecting to be able to update this so quickly, but here we are. First off, I want to thank everyone who commented on my last post, and also add some context, as I realized my last post may have been lacking some. My fiancé and I have been together for 5 years, but I have known him for 12 years. In all the time I have known him, and especially since we got together, he has always been sweet, taken my feelings into consideration, and has not actively ignored my opinion like this. It has always been a 2 yes, 1 no situation when making decisions before this. We had a good relationship otherwise. We had date nights once every fortnight, we enjoyed each other's company, had similar plans for the future, and shared the same ideals for a relationship. He had watched me go through a few quite bad relationships over the years before we got together and did his best to be the opposite of my exes, though he has always been quite pushy when it comes to sexual intimacy, so I guess that is an issue. Other than that, it was great, and we had actually had a lot of conversations about what we wanted in a house. We had agreed that we wanted a house or cottage that was either the same distance from my workplace or closer, a bit more remote but still with a town or city that was easily accessible by both public transport and car. I am not sure why he suddenly switched to wanting a house so far away from everything and everyone we both know. We live in the United Kingdom, and a 2-hour drive can have you in what feels like a completely different world. Anyway, on to the actual update. I had annual leave from work yesterday, and my now ex-fiancé was having a work-from-home day, something he has been doing more and more frequently lately. This is another reason he is so okay with the house he wants being where it is, because he can simply switch to working from home full-time. In the morning, I sat down with him and tried to bring up the house again. I laid out my points from my last post yet again and told him that I am under no circumstances leaving my job. I love it, and I do not want to search for another one. I brought up the countless other houses that fit our criteria, are in our area, and are closer to my workplace, some of which we have already viewed. We have not viewed the place he wants yet because we have not had the time, and I told him I do not want it because I already know it is not what I want. I also asked him if he really thought it would be okay for me to have a 6-hour round-trip commute every day, especially considering that my shift starts at 8 a.m., so I would have to leave by 5 a.m. every morning and be awake by around 4 a.m. My shifts typically finish at 5:30 p.m., so I would not even be home until around 8:30 p.m. Would he be okay with doing all of the childcare in the future, the housework, and everything else that needed to be done because I would not be home for any of it? He did not seem to take any of it to heart and still insisted I could find another job, maybe one that was not even in childcare, and that is what finally pushed me over the edge. Childcare has been my dream since I was a little girl, and I managed to find an absolute dream workplace that I know many childcare practitioners would love to work for. How could I possibly leave all of that behind when I have worked so hard for it? He told me he was set on this house, so I could either accept it or leave. I chose to leave. I gave his ring back and told him we were done, that he was no longer being the sweet, considerate man I fell in love with, and that I did not understand why he could not see my side of things. I do not want to live my life with somebody who does not consider how I feel about something this important. This completely shocked him, and he started begging me to reconsider, saying that we could figure something out. I refused and went to pack my things. I'm staying with my brother and his wife now, which is nice because they live closer to my workplace, only a 30-minute drive instead of an hour, and I get to spend time with my little nieces. I am hurting, but I also feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I do not deserve to have my opinion ignored, and he certainly did not deserve me. I guess it is onwards and upwards, as they say, but I definitely will not be dating for a long time after this. Update 2. Hi, everyone. Sorry I have been almost completely MIA for the last few months. Life has been completely hectic, but I wanted to give an update because I saw some people asking for one. I also saw my post being read on TikTok a few months ago by one of my favorite Reddit story accounts, and that was crazy. I truly did not think it would end up anywhere other than Reddit. First off, I, 27F, want to share some things about my life and how it has been since I left my ex-fiancé, 28M. Life has been up and down for me. I found a therapist, and I have started renting a small flat close to my brother's house. I'm still living below my means as I start saving for a house again, building upon the more than half of the savings I took with me when I left my ex. It was all my money. I had saved most of it, and I did not take any of the money that belonged to him. The flat is small, but it is cozy and does not have any of the mess my ex always left around. I was offered a position as assistant manager at my workplace, and while the pay raise would have been nice, I decided to turn it down because I simply love working with the children so much. I do not want to spend most of my time in an office. Being a room lead is perfect for me. I adore my job. My workplace is still great, and I have become really good friends with some of the newer staff members. I often have a couple of them over for drinks or dinner after work as our own little single ladies club. My absolutely amazing dad died suddenly and tragically in September, far too soon, at the age of 65. He was truly the most incredible man, and I had been leaning on him a lot for support after I left my ex. He left me a sizable sum of money, and while I am still waiting for everything to come through, I am planning to put it all into my house fund. I am hoping to be a homeowner by the summer of 2026. I also adopted a little tortoiseshell cat to keep me company. Her name is Lily, and she is the sweetest, cuddliest little thing. I'm slowly getting back into dating, and I actually came to the realization that I like women, so I have been dipping my toes into going on dates with some lovely ladies, which has been great. Nothing serious, of course. I'm not ready for that yet, but it is nice to have some connection with people, explore my newfound dating pool, see what fits me best, and figure out my dating boundaries. Overall, while there have been some tough and heartbreaking times, my life has improved. On the ex front, I really did dodge a bullet. My sister has told me countless times that I let a man disrespect me for far too long. He was not the man I thought he was, and upon reflection, I realized the first red flag was how pushy he was about sex. I believe one comment on my last update called him a sex fiend. My therapist has helped me realize that coercion was not consent, so I have been working through that. Since we split, he has apparently been posting on Instagram about being an alpha male and how any woman would be lucky to have him. According to our mutual friends, he has been listening to lots of horrible, misogynistic podcasts and spews that rhetoric to absolutely everyone he can. He is already dating a new girl who is far too young for him, at just 19 years old. Yuck. I will never know the full reason why he wanted me to move so far away from everything I know and love, but I feel that the comments saying he wanted me to quit my job and become a stay-at-home mom were correct in their assumptions. He could not afford the house he wanted without my share of the savings, so he is still stuck in our old flat. I had to see him one more time after I left, just to collect the rest of my things from our old place. He tried to talk to me, asking if we could fix what we had, but I ignored him and simply took everything I needed before leaving and blocking him for good. He is not worth my time or energy. I think that during our relationship, I lost who I really was and forgot that I am a strong, independent woman. I have always been quite feisty, and I have always stood up for myself, but somehow with him, I lost those parts of myself. They are back in full force now, and I could not be happier about that. I have used my newfound spine to fight for what I believe in. I have attended several marches and protests for Palestine over the last few months, screaming at the top of my lungs, holding banners, and waving flags. I have advocated for children's rights, joined clubs and groups, and found my voice again. Thank you all for your kind words, advice, and encouragement. I truly do not think I would have left or stayed away if it had not been for all of you commenting. Final update, 6 months into the year already. Wow. Thank you so much to everyone who has been so supportive on my previous posts. I, 28F, do not have much to update apart from the fact that, as of the 21st of May, I am officially a homeowner. I found the perfect house that is only 15 minutes from my workplace. It may not be the out-of-the-way cottage I originally wanted, but it is perfect and it is all mine. I have space to simply be myself and enough room for my nibblings to sleep over and give my siblings a break. On the dating front, I have been dating a wonderful woman, 30F, since late December. I realized shortly after my last update that I was not bisexual. I'm actually a lesbian. We are still taking things very slowly, considering I had just come out of a long-term relationship and she had only recently divorced when we met, but so far, so good. She is absolutely amazing, and I can safely say that I love her. If things continue to go well, we have talked about living together, but that will not happen until at least 2027 because I am not quite ready for that level of commitment yet. She helped me move into and decorate my new house, which has been lovely because she works in interior design and seems to know exactly how to make a room look incredible. My ex broke up with a 19-year-old in April, from what I have been told, citing that she was far too immature. Obviously. She is 19, and you are 29, you idiot. I have not heard much else about him because I really do not care to know about his life, but what I have heard is not great. On top of all of his ridiculous misogynistic behavior, he has also been on some horribly racist nonsense. I did not mention this in my previous posts because it did not feel relevant, but I am mixed. My mom is black, and I am very clearly half black. He was engaged to a woman of color, and he is racist. All in all, life is good, and I escaped a man who probably never really loved me. I hope everyone has had a great year so far. Here is to better beginnings. It may not be much of an update, but I wanted to let you all know that it really can get so much better.